welcome to Notice Tonight, India Votes 2019 series. I am Wasbir Hussain. What are some common things or trends that we are witnessing in the Northeast in the run-up to the forthcoming Lok Sabha polls? One, of course, is the forging of both open and secret alliances by political parties. That is number one. Second, so-called allies also putting up their own candidates. And thirdly, parties seeing desertions and even a split over extending support to candidates. These are the three broad trends. Talking about open alliance, the common NPP-led MDA candidate put up for the Shillong Lok Sabha seat or the BJP, AGP, BPF alliance, this is an open alliance. What about the secret alliances? Yes, there is seemingly one secret alliance at least, that is between the Congress and the AIUDF in Assam. The AIUDF not putting up candidates in 11 of the state's 14 Lok Sabha seats to keep the BJP at bay. And the second trend is that of allies putting up their own candidates to contest against a common candidate already put up by the coalition. Take the case of the BJP putting up a candidate each in Shillong and Tura. In Shillong, the BJP has put up a candidate against the common candidate of the alliance, of which it is a partner. Can you imagine? And in Tura, the BJP is fighting the NPP, also a part of the MDA coalition. And that has happened in Assam. And what has happened in Assam? The Congress at the last moment putting up candidates against AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal in Dhubri, and another AIUDF stronghold of Barpeta is also something that cannot be missed. And the third trend is people, that means politicians, quitting parties either on denial of tickets as seen in Arunachal Pradesh in the context of the assembly polls, or the 7 NPF MLAs openly moving over to the ruling NDPP fold in Nagaland simply because their party has not fielded a candidate for the Lok Sabha and have decided to back the Congress candidate. Now, all this arithmetic leads to a target set by these parties, capturing power or being a part of the power play. That's fine. Nobody can have a grudge on that. But in this power game, where has the issues concerning the Northeast gone? Does our MPs even speak out loud and clear in Parliament? Well, to discuss the subject, I am joined from Imphal by former Manipur Chief Minister and BJP leader Mr. Radha Binod Koizam. In Shillong, I have the NPP State President Mr. WR Carlucci. And at our studios in Guwahati, I have Assam Congress leader Mr. Kirip Chalia, BJP spokesman Mr. Swapnanil Barua, and of course we have two very, very well-known political commentators, Professor Nanigopal Mohanto from Guwahati University and Dr. Rajiv Handik, also from Guwahati University. Gentlemen, welcome to this special edition of Northeast Tonight. Now, Mr. Carlucci, first coming to you, what is going on? Your coalition, that is the Meghalaya Democratic Alliance, you have put up a common candidate for the Shillong seat, and suddenly you find the BJP, which is your alliance partner, also putting up a candidate. Not only that, the BJP has given you a lot of irritating moments even in Tura, where they have fielded a candidate against your own party candidate. So what is going on? What kind of politics is this? Is there something terribly disturbing? Who is going to benefit out of this? Are you a not so happy man today?
Well, I'll tell you, right from the very beginning, this question was asked to me. So I told people that this alliance of ours is an alliance, actually is a post-poll alliance. We never have a pre-poll alliance with any of our allies in the MDA. That's why not only in the MP election, even in the last district council election which was concluded, we were fighting the election against the UDP, against the HSPDP, PDF. So there is nothing harm in it.
No harm in it. You are not an unhappy man. You are having to fight. Don't you think Mr. Vincent Pala is having a last laugh because there will be split in votes? Are you worried about that?
No, I'm not worried at all. You'll see the result because we know.
Right.
What I said, like I told you earlier, that we are to fight any party, be it BJP, be it Congress, be it any party.
Yes. You are part of the coalition, ready to fight the BJP. That's what the NPP state president is saying. I want Nonigopal Mohanto to answer, but I will come to you. First, I'll go to then Mr. Radhabinod Koizam. You were also understood to be you are a front runner for one of the BJP tickets in Manipur. Now, you see, we have seen in Arunachal Pradesh, the BJP has not fielded many of the sitting MLAs, so they have moved over to the NPP. We have seen in Nagaland, the opposition Naga People's Front has not fielded a candidate. Therefore, the angry MLAs, they have decided to support the NDPP, which is the ruling party. Now, you as a veteran political leader, not just from Manipur, but the entire Northeast, Mr. Radhabinod Koizam, you continue to be with the BJP despite being denied a ticket. So, is that should be the actual politics? That a ticket cannot determine your or change your ideology. How do you respond?
I am very firmly in BJP, and I'll be working hard for BJP to win. Now, at the fag end of my career, spending over 30 years, and at the fag end of my life, I am not interested in switching parties or coming out to contest as independent. Therefore, my loyalty, which may be the last to any political party, will be with the BJP.
Okay, I'm coming. I'll ask the response of the two political leaders on our studios, but before that, Dr. Nonigopal Mohanto, what do you make of it? I have categorized three distinct trends. There are open alliances, like what Mr. Carlucci has said. Meghalaya Democratic Alliance is a coalition government led by the NPP. They have put up a candidate. We have the open alliance in Assam, where the BJP, AGP and Bodoland People's Front is an open ally. They are into an open alliance. But we have seen, there are secret alliances, like the alliance between the Congress and the AIUDF. Now, there is a feeling that the Congress has betrayed the AIUDF at the last moment by putting up candidates in Dhubri. And there is again somebody saying that no, it's not going to create any problem. It is part of that secret alliance because they have fielded a weak candidate in Dhubri. How are you looking at this open and secret alliance business, at least in the Assam context?
Wasbir, I broadly agree with the three or four characteristics that you have talked about.
Yeah.
But I would like to call it a kind of, strategic alliance rather than transcendental alliance. Well, you do not look at, whether you will definitely help each other. That is transcendental. But I would call it strategic. You know why strategic? This strategic alliance, be it AIDF Congress or BJP and other NEDA constituents, this is based on four characteristics. Number one, all these political parties would definitely want their parties to be the victorious of the in the respective political hustings. The second one is the most important characteristic is to help each other. For example, if you look at Shillong or in Meghalaya, you will find NPP in Shillong helping the MDA coalition partners, that is, they're helping regional partners.
Yeah.
Again, in Nagaland, you will see NPF and NPP, they had withdrawn at the last moment to support the present ruling coalition. So that is the second, they're helping each other. Third, that's the most important. I would like to come to that part, is that I believe in NEDA, there is a kind of pre-poll. Yes, post-poll has been talked about, but there is a strategic alliance to prevent Congress. Can I give you some examples? Look at Manipur. In outer Manipur, no NPP has given candidate in so that BJP has got an edge. You get my point. Yes, they have some, in order to consolidate their respective voting base, they are giving candidates in outer Manipur. But in inner Manipur, NPP is not giving. Again, look at Assam.
This is part of your broad comment. You are making that these are strategic alliances.
Rather than transcendental alliances.
To keep their respective opponents at bay. I'll come back to you, Dr. Nonigopal Mohanto. Let me have the opening remark from Mr. Kirib Chalia. Mr. Kirib Chalia, what is going on between the Congress and the AIUDF? First of all, the AIUDF extended an olive branch to the Congress, which the Congress seemingly rejected. They have not fielded candidate in 11 seats. then the Congress, there was some kind of an unrest and the Congress fielded candidates in all the constituencies, and but the allegation is that you have fielded weak candidates in Barpeta against AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal. Now my question is, these kind of secret alliances at the end of the day, don't you think that it is going to actually fool the people, because not enabling the people to do the right decision on the eve of the elections? Everything has to be transparent and open, isn't it?
See, I don't know. I mean, I'm at loss of words to endorse your views. How can a secret alliance be known so openly to you that you can discuss about this?
That has been given away by your own party leaders and the actions taken by your own party.
So, you know, it may be a qualitative remark that secret alliances are no longer secret. People have to judge themselves whether it is a secret alliances or not. What I'm saying is, coalition of parties in India has been has come out of the evolution of political parties after independence. For a long time, single party domination was there. Naturally, then came, you know, if you remember, grand alliances. Then came the regional alliances. Then came all kinds of various combinations. And these combinations were never ideological, let me tell you. These are more because of political compulsions. Yes, there were ideological alliances like that of BJP and Shiv Sena.
So are you saying that this kind of open secret alliances, AODF not fielding candidates in 11 seats, at least will you admit that that will benefit your party to a great extent or not?
See, naturally every alliances are made only because of political compulsions.
There is no alliance between the Congress and the AIUDF openly. But my question to you is very simple. Don't you think that the AIUDF not putting candidates in 11 seats in Assam, don't you think that will benefit your party to a great extent, so the Congress party?
That has to be seen. The first place, you know, this is a double-edged sword.
Okay.
The moment, you know, the more you talk about the secret alliance between AIDF and Congress,
yes,
it will put them in the back foot in the Hastings, because in the parliament streets, there's every danger of polarization.
You are trying to wriggle out of the situation. I give you that. I'll come back to you. I'll also go back to my two panelists in Shillong and Imphal, but very quickly, Mr. Sapnil Barua, your party has been looking at, how are you looking at these alliances? You are saying that, you know, Congress and AIUDF are two sides of the same coin. Then you're part of the alliance, Mr. Carlucci is sitting there, you're part of the NPP-led alliance in Meghalaya, and then you put up a candidate against that particular alliance. Now, is it, you know, the BJP seems to be leaving no stone unturned. Somewhere or the other, either on your own or clutching on to allies, you have to get a seat and increase the NDA tally. Is it just power play and nothing else?
You are in the election to win the election.
Come what may. Forget about ideologies. Forget about...
No, it's not a question of ideologies. Unless there is a certain common meeting point, two people will definitely not agree to come together. So there is definitely a common meeting point where certain interests of both the win-win situation for both the participants are there. And therefore, we have come together to see that we come through, or our associates.
No, my question is, you have come together. Mr. Carlucci is there. I'll take this question to him. But they have come together, but you have also decided to put up a candidate against the same people with whom you have come together. I'm talking about the Shillong example.
The Shillong example may be local considerations, but one thing will definitely be there, that if the party feels that, as they say, it's a post-poll alliance, maybe the presence of the BJP candidate will further the cause of the party in the subsequent stages as things develop.
Okay.
You shouldn't be left out. I think that could be one possible.
You shouldn't be left out. I think that makes some sense. But Dr. Rajiv Hendik, is it all about power play? And Dr. Sapnil Barua has very rightly said, yes, you contest an election to win. We all know that. But what about usul? What about issues? Nobody is talking about issues today in this election so far. I don't know. The first phase is coming. The first phase of the polls is on the 11th, as we all know. But no one is talking about issues. Everyone is talking only about alliances and criticizing the other other combinations, the rival combinations.
Yeah, it's true. Firstly, I must commend, the three main issues that you highlighted. Every election is special, and the three issues that you highlighted perhaps will, in a way, will make this election special. And about the issues, I think all elections were fought almost in a similar fashion.
Okay.
You know, last 2014 election, when the first phase happened in Assam, even the manifesto was not out of the BJP. So the elections, even that election perhaps went away without even people knowing that the manifesto wasn't there.
Right.
So it happens.
Now,
it reminds me of a very famous quote of F.D. Roosevelt of USA. He said, in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way.
Okay,
So,
even if it happens by accident, you can bet that it was planned.
It's very
that
difficult. It's very difficult at this moment. But as you say, as you see, there are pre-poll alliance, there are post-poll alliance.
Right.
They are saying in the
that's
same.
What Mr. Carlucci said. Let me go to Mr. Carlucci himself. Mr. Carlucci, we were talking about issues. You know, everybody is so busy with forming alliances even today that. Nobody seems to be releasing the manifestos. If we are looking the Northeast very closely, as our channel is focusing on the Northeast, except in Sikkim, I think no parties are talking about manifestos. I think manifestos have disappeared into the back burner. What are the issues? No, would you have liked to talk about more about issues affecting the Aam Aadmi?
Yes, it is for me. Hello?
Yes, this question is for you, Mr. Carlucci.
Yes, please repeat it.
Nobody is talking about issues in this election so far. Everybody is only talking about alliances and how to win the polls. It's fair enough. But for the common ordinary man, the voter, he or she wants to know about the issues that are concerning him or her in these elections. Nobody is talking about issues.
Yes, the thing is, if you recall that when our government is 1 year in existence, we have shown to the people, we have bring out a booklet of what the MDA government has done. Yes, of course, there are some party like the Congress. I used to say in every press I address, they don't have any issue. 8 years into governance in Meghalaya, they should show what they have done for the state. But they were trying to make issue that BJP is NPP and NPP is BJP. Then that day when I remind them that in 2018, in the Giant Hills Autonomous District Council, the council which was headed or led by NPP, BJP, Congress, UDP and NPP were together. I said, please answer to this. When it suits you, you are also working with the BJP. But we on our part, we have also already showed what we have done in 1 year that we are in the government.
All right. You are talking about what you have done in 1 year that you have highlighted, etc. We'll come back to that. Mr. Radha Vinod Koizam, you know, the issue is we are having the Lok Sabha elections, but unfortunately we have 25 MPs only from the Northeast. And the tragedy, Mr. Radha Vinod Koizam, is that most of our MPs, Mr. Kirip Chelia will bear me out, I'm not generalizing, most of our MPs do not speak in Parliament. Their performance on the floor of the House is extremely poor, to say the least. What is the problem? Are we not selecting the right candidates, or we have some problems, whether it is communication problem, or we are not well versed in the issues affecting our region, or we don't know how to project it? What is it according to you?
India has been talking about in very loud voice that the country cannot be developed without developing Northeast.
Yes.
At the same time, the national parties are not looking into the aspirations and dreams of the people of the Northeast. Therefore, in selection of their candidates.
I have to interrupt you, Mr. Koizam. Mr. Koizam.
Give emphasis.
Yes. I have to ask you a question. I have to ask you a question right here. Are you some way talking about yourself? You were not selected. Don't you have a grievance that a man like you, was the former chief minister, was denied a ticket, and you are saying that national parties are not concerned about the aspirations of the people, but you belong to the biggest national and the most powerful national party, at least as of now?
I am not found to be a suitable boy of BJP today.
So what am I to understand? What am I to understand?
You understand that BJP did not find me suitable to be their nominee for the Lok Sabha election from Inner Manipur parliamentary constituency. That is simple that.
But that is the party's prerogative, isn't it?
That is the party's prerogative. And that is why I was saying at the time of selection of candidates, national parties look into their interest, into what they think would serve them better.
Okay. Now, Dr. Nanigopal
They do
Mahanta,
not
Dr. Nanigopal, just
give
I'm
much
coming back to you.
importance
I'm coming
for
back
the
to you. I have lot to ask you, because
of the people of the state, of the region.
yes, you have made a very significant observation, Mr. Radhabinod Koizam, and I know you are saying that with all responsibility. I'll come back to you, Dr. Nanigopal Mahanta. You know, this whole what Mr. Radhabinod Koizam is saying, that national parties do not think about aspirations of the people. Now, you know, in this backdrop, we have only 25 MPs. The question is, if the right people are not selected by the political parties, you see, party politics is one thing, and concerning genuinely about the respective states and thereafter the entire region is another. Now, how will the aspiration be fulfilled if your representative does not even speak in parliament? I'm coming to you, Mr. Kirib Cholia, Nanigopal Mahanta.
Well, Wasbir, there are a lot of factors involved here. In fact, I would like to assert that 25 is not a very small number. But apart from, you know, UP, I mean, Bihar, if you look at the other Hindi-speaking belt, you know, 25 is the seat which why they play a very important role.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunate part is that we do not see a kind of one voice from Northeast. Why? Because there are certain areas where the infrastructural projects are there. In those areas, we expect a kind of common minimum program irrespective of your political affiliation, which unfortunately the MPs of Northeast region could not develop a unified voice that can act as a lobbying. That is number one. Number two, you know, if you look at the role of MP, but today unfortunately we mix up everything between the executive and the legislature, because the main important role of an MP is to play an important role in the parliament in terms of asking questions, in terms of monitoring the opposition, or even in terms of asking questions.
Very important point,
so
Dr.
Do they play this kind of important role?
Right.
So winnability becomes the only factor in terms of caste, creed, and the primordial identity.
Let me ask the former MP himself, Mr. Kirib Cholia. You know, it's not that people were not trying to have some unity among the MPs from the Northeast, irrespective of political parties, but that has not succeeded. But I want you to respond. You have been a vocal MP in the House, but my question is, won't you agree, at least, you know, on this is not a political question. I'm not asking about a particular person. I'm asking you a general comment. Won't you agree that most of the MPs from the Northeast do not speak out in Parliament at all?
See, this is a sweeping misstatement. This is a sweeping misstatement.
So you have been a former MP, and therefore you have to defend your
I don't think I'm in a injunction or what you call medieval court which is trying me. and I don't need any explanation. I don't at this time of
But-
my life.
but
I
you
don't
have
need
to-
to justify myself.
you
I'm
have
sorry.
to
I have
address
my,
to the
I,
viewers.
but, you know,
I am asking the
when you are
question.
asking,
I am asking
Wasbir, I'm
on
sorry.
behalf of the
Wasbir, I'm
viewers.
sorry. Wasbir, I'm sorry. I have got greatest regard for you. But I don't think you ask me a question, I give an answer and you impute motives on that.
No, I'm not
but
saying
I can
motive.
assure
I want to-
I can assure you
I
that
want a
despite of
clarity.
all the respect I have,
Yes, please.
I don't need
Please,
to,
go ahead.
I don't need to give any explanation to defend myself. I'm just stating a matter
Yeah,
of truth.
for the
example,
benefit of
for
the
example,
viewers, you
no,
give the
no,
answer.
No, I'm sorry. The viewers also.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying something. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it
please,
because
please,
of the viewers.
please
I am
respond.
saying it what the truth, what my
Noted.
impression
Please
is.
respond.
First of all, I mean, there is a common impression Northeast MPs never voice the common problems. Even my friend Noni has said that they never voiced the common infrastructural problems and other problems of Northeast together.
Yeah.
Let me assure you that this is a misinformation.
Okay.
This shows the big gap between the national, the performance of the MPs in the parliament and the local media.
Local media.
Yes,
That is one of the
100%.
reason is that
100%.
once
They don't
once
inform,
they are
they
elected,
misinform.
once
They have
the-
never-
once they are elected,
I can assure
no,
you, and I'm going to write about it.
let me also make my point. Once
Let me
they are,
also allow
once
me to
they
make
are
my point.
elected and sent to parliament, most of the MPs are not to be seen in their respective
This
states.
is a
Any
blatant-
meaningful-
this is a
any
blatant
meaningful
misstatement.
exercise.
This is not true.
This
I have
this
to
is
ask,
not
ask
true.
Kirip Soli a question.
Yes.
You know, the Northeast
30
MP
years the NECC, the 30
This
years,
is not
all
final.
Noni
MPs,
Gopal has a question.
all
Please
MPs
answer.
function
You may
together.
not like my question, but please answer Dr. Noni Gopal Mohanta's question.
We are just asking. It's not that if we shout it here and people
Nobody's
will
shouting.
get impressed,
Nobody's
you know,
shouting.
give us the vote. My basic
This is
fundamental
a very
question.
personal allegation you are making.
No, no,
I think you should withdraw that. Noni, you also don't show your intellectual superiority.
Hey, come on, Kirip Soli,
Don't do
why
that.
are you so aggressive today? There is no need.
He's making a personal
we are making-
interpretation, which
No, no,
he
no,
should
no.
not
Let
do.
us, let us address the basic issues. You know, what I'm trying to say is that we have a forum called Northeast MP Forum. I had the opportunity, I was invited to Sikkim. But unfortunately, this meeting of the forum had not taken place for 5 years, I have been told. You know, PD Rai is the secretary. The point is that, you know, it's a meeting point. We have certain areas we can go beyond our party affiliation.
Yes,
there
that is the
questions
point
are
I was
being
making.
asked.
That is the
I mean,
point
I
I
mean,
was making.
Excuse
so
me, may
what
I
I'm trying-
submit something
you know,
in opposition to this? He's talking about 5 years. We have been there. I have been in the parliament in and out from 1991.
let me-
on
so what
every
has-
for every
Right.
everything.
Let me quickly- I
every
have to-
issue. This forum was working.
Mr. Kirip Soli,
So the
I
point-
am coming back
this
to
is
you.
what has been
Dr.
done by
Mohan,
PD Rai.
I'll come back to
You
you.
can tell me when was the last MP forum took place? Can you cite me the
I am
place?
placing these
Okay.
matters in writing.
Okay. I will have to go. I'll have to go for a break, but very quickly, in 20 to 30 seconds, Mr. Carlucci, do you agree, at least to the general view, that MPs from Northeast must speak out much more in Parliament? Because my friend Mr. Kirip Chalia has contested me. He said it was a sweeping statement. What is your view?
You see, what I feel is that that's why our party NPP, our late leader P. Sangma, realizing the need of having a Northeast regional party who will take care after the indigenous people of the Northeast. We need to have one block which go to the parliament, and that block is a block which will raise about the issue of the Northeast people. I'll tell you, in this politics of coalition in India, if we have one block from the Northeast who it doesn't belong to any of the national party,
Absolutely.
it will be a very strong force to reckon with in the politics
the need
of
for
India.
a block,
that was the need of the
need
movement
for a
the
block, that
Northeast.
is what Mr. Carlucci has been emphasizing, need for a block to represent the Northeast. On that note, we'll go for a short break, but stay on, don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. For the sake of the viewers, I must tell that we have been discussing this issue of a so-called secret alliance between the Congress and the AIUDF. The AIUDF representative backed out of this program at the last moment. The chair is still there for the gentleman who has not come to this program. That is for the record. But Swapnil Barua, you know, issues. We are talking about, I am coming to you, Mr. Radha Binod Koizam. Who will talk about the issues? You know, people are talking about various issues. People are talking about alliances, open alliances, secret alliances, people quitting political parties just because they have been denied a ticket. Several of the BJP MLAs, 7 to 8 MLAs, including 2 ministers in Arunachal Pradesh, have gone and joined the NPP, Mr. Carlucci's party. Now, what is going on? Who will talk about the issues? Because I have seen some of the issues you yourself, Mr. Swapnil Barua, has raised in the social media. They are very, very important issues concerning the Aam Aadmi. But we would have expected these issues to be raised by the political leaders contesting the elections.
Well, I think the issue thing has been set rolling today by the Honorable Prime Minister when he said that the unfinished job of the last 5 years has to be continued in the next 5 years, especially concerning the people, the poor sections of society and the middle class. He has enunciated the various measures that have been taken. He's also been very candid and honest enough that there's still to do in those sectors. And I think since government is a continuity, he feels that it will be has to be continued. So I think you can see a clear pattern in what the Prime Minister today has said, that first we must address the issues of the poor sections of the people and go on to the middle class people also. And besides that, he's talked about the improvement of infrastructure in the northeast.
But true, accepted. We have telecast the program live. My viewers have seen throughout the day we have been telecasting.
So I suppose those are
my
the
question
issues.
Is it the responsibility of the Prime Minister alone to talk about issues? What about the candidates? Because at the end of the day, it is the candidates which the voters are choosing and electing to Parliament to represent the state, represent the people.
Well, I think you must go back to that famous saying that 7 days is too long a thing. Now we have another more than 11 days for the first day of polling. So I'm sure that since the Prime Minister said the ball rolling, the candidates will pick up from here.
We need a top leader to even goad the political parties, candidates to actually talk about issues, but that should be the first thing. I'm not talking about the BJP. I'm talking about general. I'm talking about every candidate has to talk about. What do you think, Rajiv Hendik?
I think actually this discussion about issues, the ball was set rolling in fact by Rahul Gandhi when he talked about Nyay. There was so much of polarized politics in these days. I think whoever have started it, I'm not saying that he alone has did it, and today the Honorable Prime Minister have added to it. I think that should be the way. It shouldn't be only on matters of, I think, hate or divisiveness. We should actually rise above that and talk about a future which is a desired one for all of us.
I'm coming to you, Dr. Nandagopal Mohanto. Mr. Radha Binod Koizam, in a state like Manipur, for example, a frontier state with insurgency, landlocked state with only 2 MPs, so I mean, we don't hear much. We also don't know the candidates much, the rest of the region. So how are you looking at it? Because you seem to be, at the end of the day, you seem to be absolutely unhappy that a man of your track record was not chosen as the candidate to contest the elections.
No, I am not unhappy. I am very happy. Though I am not considered to be a suitable person to represent the party in the Lok Sabha.
But what do you think? But what do you think? No, Mr. Radha Binod Koizam, what do you think? What is your personal opinion? Do you think that you are a suitable boy or not? Are you a suitable boy or not, according to your own conviction?
Certainly, if I feel myself a very suitable person to effectively represent the aspiration and the dream of the people of Manipur. Inner Manipur parliamentary constituency is the heart and the head of the state of Manipur. and to the issues that would determine the destiny of Manipur will emerge and has emerged from this area. This is the central part of the body politics of Manipur.
But what are those
Now,
issues?
in Manipur,
What are those issues?
unfortunately,
What
people
are
have
those
not-
issues? Mr. Aravinod Koizam, what is that issue
no,
that determines
see,
the destiny of Manipur?
What
is that
just-
issue?
Now, Manipur, I feel the voters of Manipur have not learned to analyze issues and to vote on the correct way or wisely. The issues are marginally here
No, but
important.
you are not-
Otherwise, the money power and muscle power overtakes everything.
Well,
Yeah, but Dr.
That's
Nandakumar
everything.
Mohanty,
Wasbir,
it is
can
the-
I
And
make a
yes,
point
please,
here?
therefore,
please make a point.
Because
the
if you see
pattern
that
of
this is a
electing
very
the
critical year in the
candidate
sense
of the
that there's
ruling
been a
party.
change of guard throughout. If
Yeah.
I can recall the parallel, in 1972, the Congress party
Yeah.
did a dramatic change of changing the old guard and bringing in the new
Therefore,
faces.
the issue
Yeah.
Now you see
marginally,
the
whether
situation
it
that
is
you have a
common manure
voters
program
who are
or
65% of the
manifesto,
voters are below
it
the
is-
age of 35.
the issues
So their
take very
aspirations cannot be
marginal
met by very
place.
old people, I suppose. And I think that is why the reason,
of,
although there is
electing
not
or
been enunciated
selecting
very
the,
clearly, the
candidate,
role of NEDA
it
and
is
its
the
leader
money
Himanta
power
Biswa
or the
Sarma
muscle
in
power
framing
that
the
will,
Northeast
rule the
MPs
roost.
and guiding them to the final preparation or the
So
final
you're
lesson.
basically saying that the demographics also have to be taken into account.
Yes,
the age
obviously.
factor, 65% of the people in the age group of 35 years in the entire country.
and
You need, yes, Nandakumar Mohanty was saying something.
We are trying to argue that issues do not matter, but I believe particularly political parties during time of election, this is the greatest festival of democracy. This is a greatest example of procedural democracy. So it's a festival, but otherwise it would be wrong to say that issues do not play its role, because if you look at it, you can categorize how people vote. People look at politics of development, people look at party, people look at candidates.
Yeah.
They also look at the primordial issues, caste, creed, identity, ethnicity. All these issues actually play its important role in deciding who the voters are going to vote. But one important point, as Rajiv has said, but the most
Yes, Mr.
unfortunate
Koizam,
part,
Cannot connect with them, and the candidates cannot connect with the people.
He's saying that, I mean, he has a point. He said that you have chosen candidates which cannot connect.
How can the people analyze and try to choose or select people who will represent their interests or their aspiration?
and that
They have
comes
no
to
time.
electoral reforms
The
also.
electoral system is such that within 2 weeks, the people cannot
I think the answer is very simple. The
decide
seniors will guide
properly,
the younger ones
select
in
properly, because
establishing the connect.
some of the candidates have never been heard, have never been seen by
Sir,
the people.
you are there to guide us, the
And
young ones. The unheard will be
candidates
heard once
have
they see
also
you.
not known.
So,
what are the
I'm
needs,
coming to you,
what are
Mr.
the
Carlucci.
aspiration of the
I'm
public.
coming to you.
They have not
No.
gone to the public.
No.
No, once he is there on the stage with
No,
the young
Mr.
candidate, he'll be-
Koizam, our panelists in the studio are saying that senior people like you are supposed to guide the younger candidates and other leaders.
And
That is the opinion.
And once you are seen along with the younger candidates, I'm sure the young and the old will all unite to see that the BJP candidate wins.
Let him
It is
respond.
okay. It is okay. We are there to teach them, but then now we are talking of the people who would be elected to parliament. Then whether these people could represent the aspiration
We'll have to wait.
and
We'll
dreams
have to
of the
wait.
people or
We'll
not,
have to wait
that is
and
what
watch.
we are
We
discussing.
don't know. They are
It is-
untested.
we are not discussing
Yeah,
our
we don't
role,
know that.
the role
Mr.
of the
Koizam,
seniors,
Mr. Koizam,
how to teach
Mr.
the younger,
Yeah, Mr.
how to
Koizam,
preach
just a minute.
to the
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to
junior.
you, Mr. Koizam. I'll
So
come back
we'll
to you.
ensure that the young ones
We'll,
learn from you all.
see, we'll have to
Once they are
see, some of
elected.
these candidates who are put are the first timers, they are untested. Mr. Carlucci, how important is it to, selection of candidates, how important is it? Because on one hand, you cannot always only choose the veterans and at the same time you have to give opportunity to the younger lot, the first time politicians, isn't it? So, do you see a difference between the assembly elections and the parliamentary elections, the people whom you represent to contest the elections and give the nominations? Mr. Carlucci, what is your criteria according to you?
Pardon? I could not hear you.
Yeah.
Please repeat.
You see, Mr. Radhabinod Koizam, the former Chief Minister of Manipur, he is saying that, candidate selection is a very important thing, and senior people who can represent the people, can focus with experience, should be sent. That is the gist what I understood. But I want to know your opinion. Is it necessary to send only senior people to parliament, or is it also necessary to give opportunity to younger people who have no experience in parliamentary politics? Do you think there should be a balance between, what is your personal view?
Well, what we do is that we are a party who believe in democratic principle. We call for an application, and then the candidate applied for the party ticket, and well, if there's only one candidate, it was decided on that candidate, and if there are 2 or 3, the bloc will sit as a whole and then recommend it to the district and the district to the state, and the final selection is with the national executive.
Now, basically, what Mr. Nonigopal Mohanto, I'm coming to you, Mr. Kripchalia. Nonigopal Mohanto, what Mr. Carlucci is basically saying is that winnability is the only factor as far as the NPP is concerned. Yeah. Winnability is the primary concern.
Will prove himself
winnability number one, but number two, along with, if you look at, that is the main criteria. But the caste creed.
Religion, why are you only talking about caste creed?
Yeah, that's what happens. Well,
no, let us go beyond caste creed. What about the competence of the person? What about raising issues of the people who represent?
Please allow me to answer. That's what it ought to be.
We can't always talk about caste creed.
Wasbir, can I answer? Give me just 1 minute to answer it.
Please.
My point is that today we have the principle called first past to the post system. What is this procedural democracy is based on? This democracy is based on numbers. So when you call that these are the numbers we have, I'm not justifying it, but that is what it has been reduced to. Unfortunately, democracy in India has been reduced to numbers. And that is why I call it a procedural democracy. You select that kind of person who has the greatest acceptability among the religious group, greatest acceptability among the caste, ethnic groups, which it should not be. That is why my urge to you, Wasbir Hussain, is to hold a program on electoral reforms. One of the panelists has talked about, we have about 20 lakh voters in one MP, 17 lakh voters. Can an MP possibly represent all the 20 lakh voters? It is physically impossible. So
very important point.
Why don't we deal with our constituencies? Number one. Number two, if we really want honest candidates to be there in the political contestations, why the state funding issue we do not talk about? Why not proportional issues? These are certain structural issues.
I take your point uncontested, and that point is the need for electoral reforms.
And here comes the role of civil society.
Absolutely, need for electoral reform. Mr. Kripchalia, what is your take? We are talking about what kind of candidates? Is it winnability? Is it just that?
Before that, I think I must point out that election is not the only place, or starting up the election is the only time when political parties discuss on issues. All issues are taken on a daily basis. If you remember, about 1 month back, there was the issue of differences between AGP and BJP. All other ethnic issues, the issues of administrative performances, these are all taken on a daily basis. Here also, certain issues are given primacy, and it is given primacy by the political parties. Let's just, as Sapnali said, today Modi ji has come and made certain debating points. But issues are, it's not that it's an issue-less election, number one. Number two, what Noni has said is also okay, that democracy has become...
Need for electoral reforms.
No. Democracy has become moneycracy. And electoral reforms, I think we can talk about that a little later. Today we have an election about that.
Limited only to
We are
electoral
talking about,
democracy.
we are talking about a present election, which is taking place in 10 days' time. So let us
No, you have said that
electoral reforms has taken
you have-
place. It has come.
Are you
evolved.
suggesting, Chalia, are you trying to suggest that you have said, you have made a very controversial remark, a sweeping remark, that election has become moneycracy.
It is.
Democracy has become money.
It is not.
Do you think?
It is
do
not.
you think that has only become in the last 5 years or in the last 70 years?
It is an all accepted remark.
No.
Without money, you can't fight
No,
election.
has it become
And
in the
that's why
last
electoral
5
reforms is
years or
necessary.
the last
That
50
is why
years?
electoral reforms is necessary.
Has
Yes,
this
carry on.
moneycracy, according to you, has it become in the last 5 years, according to you,
No,
or in the last 70 years?
It has come out. It has come over for quite long time, and Indian political system is still evolving to correct it.
Okay,
We
yeah. Are
taking
you a
certain
happy man,
corrective steps.
Swapnil Barua, that he has said that it has happened over time?
No, it's not because of. If
Well,
you are trying to say that you're trying, inventing.
I'm not trying to say
Congress
Mr.
is being blamed
Hussain.
or BJP is being blamed. No,
I
it's a
think
curse of the
today's
Indian political
India's
system as a whole.
electoral system needs revision, modification.
Yes.
What are some of the modifications? Swapnil Barua and Radha Binod Koizam. Can you tell me 2 specific modifications that is necessary?
Mr. Hussain, to your question, whether the mature seasoned people should be sent or some younger person also should be sent to parliament for learning, in a big state like UP or Bihar, or even for that matter nearer to us, Assam, where it has 14 MPs, you can send some learners also. But in Manipur, where we have only 2
that is
seats,
also a point.
one
Very
for the
important. I think
that's a very
general
important
class
point.
in the valley and another for the tribals, hill
yes,
people.
I have not your point taken. I'm running short of
where is
time.
the question
I
of
must- very important
sending
point.
learners?
I must add to this also.
Learners to
No,
the
but our
he-
entire
he-
collection,
very important
about all our issues that
Let
you have
me-
been
let-
pointing
no,
out.
let me-
See,
let-
don't
let me
forget.
paraphrase the
Don't
question.
forget.
No, let me
one-
paraphrase the
I
question. No,
just-
please. What Radha Binod Koizam is saying that if it is a big state like UP or
Yes,
Bihar,
exactly.
you
That's what
can
I
send
want.
1 or 2 people
In
to
fact-
learn. But in a small state where there is just 1 or 2 MPs, you have to be very careful about who you select
Not
and
only
send.
that, not only
Yeah.
that. You see, you must understand that when a state sends only one MP and he belongs to one political party, he hardly gets time in the frame of speeches being given, and his performance can't be evaluated. None of us understands these things. An MP with one member
Right.
hardly has a minute of time.
Right.
Even in
yes,
the presidential debate.
Swapnil
I
Barua.
think there also inside the parliament, I think certain reforms are
Yeah,
required. where
lot of efforts are being given
the
to
time
give them
allocation
time.
in the
But yeah.
business advisory
Yes,
committee
yes.
and all those things have to ensure that although he belongs to a national party, the lone MP from that particular state must be allowed to. But systems as of now
that's why
doesn't.
even the question of
Yeah.
representing on population.
Okay. Now,
That's also a vital problem.
Mr. Carlucci, I am running short of time. Mr. Carlucci, I know you are an important leader, political leader in Meghalaya, but if you look at your party has a pan-Northeast presence now. What are the 3 issues that you'd like to list for the Northeast as being the most important issue that needs to be addressed by the voters while electing their candidates in this election? 3 most important issues, not just in Meghalaya, but in the entire Northeast, Mr. Carlucci.
Well, like what I've said, that the NPP was formed with the main intention to protect the people of Northeast, to bring the people of Northeast together, because I believe that only a strong political of the Northeast will fight for the people of Northeast.
Okay.
No other political parties. And like we look today at India, whatever the national party are speaking,
Yeah.
now regional forces are strong in many parts of India.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
my appeal to the people is that let us unite together, and we only can protect ourselves. Nobody is going to protect us.
Okay. I'm starting from you. Your last concluding remarks. What are the 3 key issues in the Northeast according to you? Rajiv?
There are actually, it's very difficult.
Very quickly, 3 issues.
One issue is actually the insurgency, which has been, still many of the issues have not been solved.
Insurgency number 1?
Yeah, the peace has to come back. There has to be rehabilitation of the ones who have surrendered. They have not been adequately rehabilitated. Number two is always, unemployment is quite great, and that is where the, the feeder comes from actually for the insurgents. So unemployment has to be solved, and I think there has to be more investment. There is a lot of drain of wealth which is still taking place, which has to be stopped. And this country, the entire economic
highlighted by you, Mohanto.
The last one is structural.
Absolutely. Three key issues.
I would say, economic development, political development, and social development. That encompasses employability, that encompasses connectivity, that encompasses a democratic, healthy society, that takes into account the views of all sections of the society.
Absolutely. I think you have summed it up so very well, Dr. Anandagopal Mohanto. Mr. Creed Chalia.
I would say first and foremost thing for the people of Northeast is full ethnic security to the indigenous people of Northeast. Their peace and development of the region by solution of all the insurgencies and all. And the third, an unified effort to see that the Northeastern youths become leaders in the national mainstream. These are the
absolutely. Ethnic aspirations need to be addressed and protection. Mr. Swapnil Barua.
I think I'll also ditto what Creed Chalia is saying. We'll agree not to differ for once. The ethnic issues have to be taken care of. Jobs have to be provided for economic development, and the infrastructure connect has to be there. But again, just one point which I'd like to say before me ending this, that the job of an MP does not end in the parliament itself. He has now to be a lobbyist for his state with the bureaucracy, with the armed forces, with the diplomatic corps, with the industry, and that expansion, I think, must begin from this election. The new
As an MP has to also look beyond the state.
And Northeast today is in a transformation. That needs to be taken into account. You look at, to the Northeast is the foci of India's foreign policy, be it BIMSTEC, be it Bangladesh, India, Myanmar economic corridor. So all these issues now even act as policy. So our MPs need to be indoctrinated to these issues of development so that we can develop a collective voice.
Indoctrinated and sensitized as well.
Act is policy came because of a unified proposal of the Northeast.
Absolutely, absolutely. And moral of the story is that there did not be any alliance between the BJP and the Congress to at least agree on some of the issues that has been proved at least in this debate. Last words to you, Mr. Radha Vinod Koizam. Last words to you. Three most important issues in the Northeast, Mr. Koizam. 20 seconds to you.
Protection of indigenous people of the region.
Yes. Yes.
Second is regional aspiration, national interest. Nation building should be balanced with regional aspiration.
Right. And the last,
the country should not just put us out.
Yes. What is the third one?
And third is economic development, taking into consideration the backwardness and the inaccessibility of the region.
Absolutely. Absolutely, gentlemen, thank you very much. The candidates or the political leaders may not be talking in specific terms about the issues, but I am extremely glad that each one of the very esteemed panelists in today's discussions have so very categorically talked about the issues, afflicting issues that concerns the Northeast, and with so much of clarity and thought that is really, really encouraging, and that is a humble contribution from the channel Northeast Live, focusing on the issues concerning the Northeast. With this, I end this edition of Northeast Tonight. I thank all my panelists for participating in this very, very engaging discussion. Good night and goodbye.